Hey there, it's Kelly Wicker, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here today. Get ready for a burst of color and creativity as we dive into crafting a vibrant spring tulip bouquet. Join me on this floral adventure as we bring the beauty of spring to life, one petal at a time. So stay tuned to see how I made these cards. For today's card project, you will need the following supplies. You will need cardstock in various colors for the card bases. And you'll need this beautiful stamp set from Hero Arts called Tulip Bouquet. It comes with a coordinating die set, which is wonderful, along with a color layering stencil set, which is also really great, which we aren't using today because I wanted to do some watercoloring. Okay, you will also need some water brushes and watercolor palette and clear embossing powder and watercolor paper and watercolor brushes. And I recently ran over to my local Joann's to pick some extra tools up that I needed to make today's card. I picked up these watercolor palettes and the water brushes. And then you will need embossing powder. I hope I haven't said that already. Clear embossing powder, heat embossing tool, and then you will need a die cutting machine, optional depending on your design, adhesive such as glue or double-sided tape, scissors, and embellishments, which is optional, but we're going to be using embellishments today. And then these are the Hero Arts liquid watercolors that we're going to be using today, which I really had fun with playing all week. I'm glad I added to my collection. They're super fun. And the nice thing about these watercolors is they actually dry really quick, which is wonderful for us impatient crafters. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the card making. So here are all the Hero Arts liquid watercolors that I have in my collection. And now I'm just going through selecting which ones I want to use in today's card project. So I went ahead and I picked out neon pink, leaf green, dandelion, and orange, and strawberry. So those are the colors we're going to use today. We're going to make a spring multicolored tulip bouquet. So the other day I was watching Mindy Egan's channel, and I saw her doing this video with the liquid watercolors. It was maybe a year or so ago when she posted it. And I wanted to replicate, so I'm going to put my own twist on the card. But that's where I got today's idea from. And I am showing you the cards that I made because there's a story behind this. There's 6 that I made. I am making these for some very special people in mind. We are going on a transatlantic cruise soon for about 2.5 weeks. It's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. So I always end up making thank you cards for the staff on the ship. And then I'm also making one for our wonderful pet sitters. They are fantastic. I never have to worry about my dogs when we're on vacation. They just take wonderful care of our babies like they're their own. It's really wonderful that we have that whenever we go anywhere. So I'm really grateful for that. So these cards I'm making for the staff on the ship and for our wonderful friends who pet sit for us when we go out of town. Okay, y'all, it's time to set up our Misty stamping tool with the stick and stamp mat for heat embossing. You first want to prepare your workspace. Start by setting up a nice clean and flat surface for your stamping and embossing work. Make sure you have all your supplies handy, including your Misty stamping tool, of course, your stick and stamp mat, stamps, ink, embossing powder, and a heat tool. Next, you want to attach the stick and stamp mat. So you want to place the stick and stamp mat inside your Misty stamping tool. This mat holds your cardstock in place during stamping and embossing, preventing it from shifting. Then you will want to position your cardstock. So you want to place your cardstock onto the stick and stamp mat, ensuring it's aligned and positioned where you want your stamped image or sentiment to appear. So that's what you saw me do there. And then you want to ink and stamp. So now we're going to ink up our stamp with embossing ink and carefully position it over our cardstock on the stick and stamp mat. You want to close the lid of the Misty stamping tool to pick up the stamp. Then open it up again to check the stamp is properly inked and positioned. So you saw me do that there. Next up, we are going in with the embossing powder. So you want to treat your cardstock with an anti-static powder tool, which you saw me do there. And I've been using the Tailored Expressions embossing powder tool recently. It's really nice. So now you see me sprinkling over the embossing powder over the stamped image while the ink is still wet. You want to make sure to cover the entire stamped area with the powder. Now you want to remove the excess powder. Gently tap or shake off any excess embossing powder from your cardstock onto a clean sheet of paper or a tray. I'm using just a cheap piece of cardstock here to catch the excess. And then you can also use a small brush to remove any stray powder particles. So now you want to get out your heat embossing tool. So carefully heat the embossing powder using a heat embossing tool or a heat gun until it melts and becomes smooth and shiny. Hold the tool a few inches away from the paper and move it in a circular motion to evenly melt the powder. You will want to allow it to cool after heat embossing. Allow your cardstock to cool for a few seconds before handling it. The embossed image will be hot immediately after. So now we're getting set up to do the watercoloring. So now that I have filled up the wells of our Hero Arts watercoloring palette with Hero Arts liquid watercolors, remember you don't need a lot, a little goes a long way. Grab your water brushes and a water bottle to help dilute the watercolors to your desired consistency. Let's get ready to add some beautiful color to our project. Now on to the really fun part, watercoloring our stamped image. This is a fun and easy process. We're keeping it simple with some basic watercoloring techniques. Nothing too complicated. Let's dive in and have some creative fun. So for today's card project, I picked the Tulip stamp set because I thought it was such a fitting theme since we are going on a 2-week transatlantic cruise to the Netherlands. Some other items you might want to have on hand while watercoloring is either paper towels or microfiber cloth, something that you need to help, if you get too much watercolor on your brush, help dab it off, or if you just want to clean your brushes, it's helpful for that too. And to clean up your glass mat. That's one reason why I love this glass surface. It makes it easy to do projects like this because it just cleans up really nice. And I didn't really need an extra cup for water because, well, I could just spray down on my glass surface and wipe it up after I'm done. That's what's really wonderful about this glass mat. And see me doing it here with the different colors. And it really helps to dilute the green there because that green was pretty dark, so I wanted it a little bit lighter. There we go. And I'm not sure why I chose the water brushes, but I just thought they were fun to use, and I had them in my stash and hadn't used them yet, so that's, I guess, my reason why I chose to use them. But there we go, filling in the leaves and the stems. And see, this is why I really wanted to do the watercoloring, because the watercoloring is actually really easy. The stencils would have been just as easy, but this was a little bit more fun for me. And I like to watercolor. It's fun. And like I said, this is nothing crazy. This is just simple stuff, coloring the tulips in and the leaves. So there we go. Just filling it in again, because once it dries, it changes color a little bit, so you can, retouch up or add another layer to it if you wanted to. So that's what I'm doing here, because I thought I wanted them lighter, but I like them a little bit darker actually. So that's what I'm doing, filling that in. And there, I don't know what that was. Went to remove it. So there we go. Our multicolored tulip bouquet is all done. And now we're going to get ready to take it over to the die cut machine off camera and cut it out. And there it is in all its glory. So pretty. And now we're getting ready to add the sentiment to our card. So this is hammer mill cardstock. I'm just sticking this back onto the stick and stamp mat. And I'm going to remove this stamp because we don't need that anymore. And placing our stick and stamp mat back into the Misties. And we're going to line up our sentiment. I thought this was fitting for my thank you cards. And getting out the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And I thought this was a really cute stamp pressure tool. I found it at Tailored Expressions. It's called Don't Stress, Just Press, is what it says on there. I thought that's really cute. And just doing what we did earlier with the embossing. There we go, funneling the leftovers back into the container. And now we're getting the heat gun out and heat embossing that. There we go. I love that look. And then you don't have to worry about anything smearing, which is the best part because I want that nice crisp white background. And now I'm getting ready to make the note card. So I'm getting an 8.5 by 11 sheet of yellow. I think this cardstock actually came from Lawn Fawn, I think. I can't remember the name of the yellow. But we just cut it in half there and getting out my score buddy now. And scoring it at 5.5. And then folding it in half. This is an A2 size card. So 4.25 by 5.5. And then getting out my Gina K dot runner to add to the first layer here. And lining it up. That's why I love those A2 size layering dies from Waffle Flower. I use them all the time. They're my favorite. And then we're going to get out my scrapbook adhesive square foams to pop up the bouquet because I want that to stand out. So as I finish up the card here, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today as we crafted this special thank you cards for our upcoming cruise adventure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more crafting inspiration. And remember, using my affiliate links down below helps support my channel and allows me to continue sharing creative content with you. So thank you very much. So I can't wait to share these cards with the cruise staff and my pet sitter. I hope they like them. So just about to finish adding on the embellishments now to finish off the card using Gina K Disco, what do they call it? Gina K Disco Ball Sequins. I'm pouring them out into my little tray here. So I'm really looking forward to this cruise. Like I said earlier, we're going to some wonderful places. We're going to Paris. We're going to Ireland, London, Bermuda, and like I said, the Netherlands. So I can't wait. So I will make sure to share some pictures in the community tab when we get back. But here we are just finishing up adding the glue, little dabs of glue to the card panel. I thought this finished off the card nicely. It needed some bling. Oh, it's running away from me. There we go. I love how, like, it's really simple, but it really stands out. And just pour them back into the container so they don't get all over the place, because that did happen to me earlier. So, do you like to go cruising? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.